I've met thousands of business owners with so much potential, but a lot of them throw it all away. Rather than growing their business, they grow their lifestyle. So what they end up with is a lifestyle business, and that is not a compliment. Let me tell you the story about James and Sarah. James and his wife Sarah run a garage door business in Portland. In their first year of operations, their profit was over 100 grand. They were so happy that they took most of the profit and they went on a vacation to Asia. Now year 2 comes around, they worked even harder. They worked so hard that they were able to double their profit to over 200 grand. They took most of the profit and they bought a fancy sports car that they've been dreaming of. Driving the car around Portland got them a lot of attention. It was awesome. In year 3, things were a lot different though. Their profit was more or less the same, 200 grand. They still had the lifestyle that everyone else was envious of, but James was burned out. Every day he was doing all the installations. He was working his butt off. He would come back home drained. The man needed a break. But the problem was they only had a few $1,000s in their business account. Once again, they spent all their profit on an expensive lifestyle. They couldn't afford to hire any technicians full time. The fact is they and so many other entrepreneurs stay stuck in the lifestyle trap without realizing what they got themselves into. And then they come to me and they complain. I don't have the money to hire 8 players. I can't afford to build out a training center. I'm not big enough yet. I'm not like you. It's easy for you to say blah, 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 blah. I had 3 jobs in the first 4 years of my garage door business. I worked nights, weekends, and holidays so that I could afford to hire employees and get out of the truck. I've always had money in the bank because I've made intentional choices. If you want to grow big, huge, massive, here's 3 things that you're going to need to do and focus on. Tip number 1 is you're going to need to delay the luxury. When I started my garage door business, I didn't go out to eat. It was instant ramen noodles for a long time. And when I had 10 million in my bank account, I still lived in a 1,000 square foot apartment until last year. You don't have to go to that extreme, but if you're thinking about buying this massive, nice car or this huge vacation house, don't do it. Wait till your business is much bigger and much more profitable. Invest back in the thing that brought you these luxuries. Delayed gratification isn't easy, so the question you need to ask yourself is, in the next 5 years, where do I want my business to be? Then make the sacrifice and reinvest into the core business. If they reinvested it took 5 years to reinvest it, they'd end up having 10, 20, 50, $100 million. But people don't have it. They don't have the discipline. Tip number 2 is make yourself replaceable. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you're in the field 24/7 and no one can take over what you do. And I know how easy it is to fight one fire after another in business, but listen, I don't care how busy you are, how many fires you need to put out, how many jobs you need to run. You gotta make sure you set aside at least 15 minutes to record and write down the processes. That's how you'll be able to train employees and make sure you do the things right. Systems and processes are so important that I dedicated a whole chapter to them in my book, Elevate. And finally, tip number 3, one of the most important ones, is hire a CFO and accountant. Building and growing a profitable business is about knowing your numbers and improving them one by one. And you need to know your numbers. You need to make sure that you're accurately tracking what's coming in and what's coming out. That's why it's so helpful to have a CFO or accountant. They're gonna help you keep track of how much you spend, what you can cut, what taxes you could save on. If I had hired a CFO a decade ago, I'd be much wealthier right now. So here's the deal. If you're okay staying small, you don't have to implement anything of what I just said. But if you want to make a lot more money, ask yourself, what am I willing to do to grow my business, even if I don't like it? Business is not easy, and that's why most business owners fail. If you're willing to learn and work hard, you have a far greater chance of success than everyone else.